It's just past midnight, and you're listening to The Nightline. I'm Poke. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road. If you're lying in bed, maybe don't turn the lights off just yet. Tonight's been quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet where every small sound feels louder than it should. We've had someone waiting on the line for a while now, longer than most callers wait. They told my producer they didn't want to rush this. They said they've carried this story for years, and tonight is the first time they've felt ready. They want to explain why they decided to call now. All right, let's bring them through.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through clearly. Thanks for holding. What name would you like to use tonight?
Just call me Elias.
All right, Elias. You said you wanted to explain why you're calling tonight. Take your time.
Yeah, um, I've been sitting here for the last hour with the radio on, just listening. I didn't even plan to call. But earlier this evening, my daughter asked me a question. She's 9. She asked me why I don't like old villages. Not abandoned places, not ruins, just villages that look like they never changed. And I didn't know how to answer her without lying. Because the real answer is that there's one village I've never really left. Not in my head. And tonight, I heard your show mention places people swear are haunted. And it felt like a door opening. I've never told this publicly, not properly, not start to finish. I think I'm calling now because I'm tired of pretending it was nothing.
I appreciate you trusting us with it. Before you get into what happened, can you tell us a little about who you were back then? Where you were in life?
Yeah, that matters. This was in England, Kent specifically. I was in my early 20s. I wasn't a believer in anything paranormal. I grew up practical, logical. At the time, I was doing short-term contract work, groundskeeping, odd jobs, caretaking, the kind of work where you move around a lot and don't stay anywhere long enough to get attached. I didn't have a family yet, no kids, no real responsibilities beyond showing up and doing the job. That's why I took the position in Pluckley.
Pluckley.
Yeah. At the time, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know it was famous, didn't know the stories. To me, it was just a quiet village that needed someone to help maintain the churchyard, a few footpaths, and an old storage building owned by the parish council. I was living in a rented room above a small shop in a nearby town. Every morning, I'd take the early bus in. It felt peaceful, almost frozen in time. And that's what I liked about it.
What kind of life were you living then? Mentally, I mean.
Detached. I'd just come out of a long relationship. I didn't feel sad about it, mostly empty. Days blended together. Work, sleep, repeat. Pluckley felt neutral, like a place where nothing would demand anything from me. That's why what happened there mattered so much, because it was the first time in my life I felt truly watched. Not judged, not threatened, observed. The first few weeks were uneventful. I'd arrive early, unlock the tool shed, check the paths, the churchyard especially. It's old, the stones lean, names worn smooth by rain and time. But nothing felt wrong at first. Then I started noticing how quiet it could get. Not peaceful quiet, empty quiet. No birds, no wind. Even my own footsteps sounded wrong, like they didn't belong there.
Did you mention that to anyone?
No, because it sounds stupid. You don't tell people, hey, the silence feels strange. You just keep it to yourself. But there were moments where I'd look up, suddenly convinced someone was standing just behind me. And every time, nothing. Until one afternoon, when there was.
All right, go on.
I was near the edge of the churchyard, close to a line of trees that separate it from a narrow lane. I felt that feeling again, that pressure between the shoulder blades. I turned, expecting maybe a dog walker. Instead, I saw a woman standing just beyond the low stone wall. She was completely still, wearing old-fashioned clothes. Not costume old, just out of place. She didn't look at me. She looked past me. I remember thinking she looked sad, not distressed, just endlessly tired.
Did she speak?
No, I nodded at her, out of habit. She didn't react. I looked down for maybe 2 seconds, picked up my rake, and when I looked back, she was gone. No footsteps, no sound. I told myself she'd walked off. But that lane doesn't bend. You can see it both ways for a good distance. She hadn't gone anywhere. That night, I looked up Pluckley online for the first time. That's when I learned what people said about it. The stories, the woman in the churchyard, the sightings. I remember laughing it off. Coincidence, suggestion. But the next day, things escalated.
How?
Sounds, footsteps where there shouldn't be any. Voices carried on the wind that stopped when you tried to focus on them. Once, while locking up the storage building, I heard my name, my actual name, not hey or oi. Clear, calm, right behind me.
Did you turn around?
I didn't want to, but I did. No one there. The door to the building was still open. Inside was dark. And something inside shifted, not moved, shifted, like a presence adjusting itself.
That's unsettling.
Yeah. From then on, the village felt aware of me. Not hostile, just attentive. Windows seemed to watch. Paths felt longer on the way back than on the way in. And the church bells, they rang once, late at night, when no one was supposed to be there. Just a single toll.
Did you ever see the woman again?
Yes, and this is the part I've never told anyone properly, because once you say it out loud, you can't take it back. I saw her in the reflection of a window. Not outside, inside the storage building, standing behind me. I felt her before I saw her. Cold. Not temperature cold, absence cold. I didn't turn around because I knew. I knew if I did, something would change.
What did you do?
I finished what I was doing, slowly, packed my tools, locked the door, and when I finally looked at the reflection again, she was closer, looking directly at me now, and smiling. Not a happy smile, a relieved one.
Elias, what happened after that?
I left. I quit the next morning. No notice, no explanation. I told myself I was just overwhelmed. But here's the thing. Sometimes late at night, I still hear that single bell. And sometimes when I'm alone in a quiet room, I feel like something is checking to see if I remember.
Thank you for telling us that. Truly, I know that wasn't easy.
Thank you for listening. And to anyone out there who thinks some places are just stories, some places are patient.
That was Elias. Pluckley is often called the most haunted village in England. But listening to that, I wonder if the stories aren't about ghosts at all. Maybe they're about places that notice us when we pass through and remember us long after we've forgotten them. Drive safe. Sleep with a light on if you need to. I'm Poke. Good night.